a lot of you responses still. I will get to those guys. I just haven't had a chance to read everything, some of your private messages throughout the week. So I will get back to you on those things. Otherwise, I forgot to do this last week, but everyone go ahead and get a fate token for, we've had another good month where everyone showed up and no shows or anything like that. So everyone go ahead and grab a fate token. If you've already have one, you can only have up to one, so you can't have two. So if you still have your one, you're only get the one still. I'm just trying to think what else I feel like I'm forgetting something already. I think that's it. Faye is picking up December 10th for the one shot. He's working on that right now.
I found a very fun one shot for us.
Ooh. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know. Does anybody have any other announcements before I jump right into the recap, I guess?
Not that I can think of.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to do your Skywar. I kind of like the idea of maybe doing once a quarter or maybe once. I want to see where it naturally falls into. Like, I don't want to say, oh, it's going to be on 3 months from now, but like, I'm sure between, December and another 3 or 4 months, something might pop up in the middle of those 3 months where we can kind of have that fill that slot instead. But not that I'm hoping that happens, but I'm sure we'll have another opportunity. So okay, I'm just gonna go over the recap, I guess, real quick. It's kind of loosely in my head as well. But basically, you all return from the mausoleum with the idol that you recovered from Faye's grandmother's tomb, Yvonne Bonray. You found the idol that the Lady of Webs was asking for as a gesture for the alliance in the agreement between Minzo and her den of Driders to kind of help take back some of the Dark Dominion that the Forgotten has overtaken. Upon your return, Wolfram went to do some work for the blacksmith that he originally spoke with, that he to kind of earn his keep and maybe refine his craft to kind of take the moment to get back in touch with his god Moradin. Is that the correct sound pronunciation?
Yep.
Cool. Doing so, and with a little persuasion, he was given free reign of the shop and to work on some of the orders that she had and he made quick work of it over the evening and got about halfway through her workload. So we'll find out what that means today when she comes back into the shop. Faye spent a long night of restless night of reading and studying the journal that you guys found for the mausoleum, and found a tucked away map. And with the help of Anika and Lorna, you guys figured out from some of the riddles and sayings that to overlay the purple glass shard over it, that you would get a more accurate path through the Dark Dominion. So you think you might have a bearing to find the treasure that Merlin gave to Yvonne when he first came to warn her about the Forgotten and the Dark One returning. And then Chronis had a night where he was kind of finding himself, calm his mind, and he had a little interaction with a otherwise cold Julina, but it was actually a pretty amicable dialogue, I feel like, between the two, where they kind of discussed the current events and meditation techniques or drugs. and he went to sleep outside. And now I believe everyone is in the common area. Yvonne has came and identified some of the magic items you wanted to learn about that you brought back from the mausoleum, such as the sword that Faye got and the deck of illusions. And I believe, Wolfram, you're still working away at the blacksmith right now. So, did I miss anything, or does anybody else want something to add that I didn't capture?
Faye has a secret admirer.
Oh, that too.
Oh yeah, Faye had a black rose at her door in the morning that nobody knew about because they got all drunk and stupid did it.
I mean,
We found out.
yeah.
So I will. Let's go ahead and catch back up where we were. Chronis, have you made your way back into the common area? From outside.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was right at the end.
Let's start with the majority, and then we're going to flip over to Wolfram, who's going to have Nizada coming in back to the Iron Silk to kind of review all the great work he did over the night. So go ahead, whatever you guys want to do, discuss, or kick it off points. We can go to the council, whatever you want to do.
We're probably just walking around right now. I'd probably be wondering where the other two boys are.
Wait, they're
Yeah.
both not here? Oh, Wolfram.
Well, Wolfram's not here. I
For,
did hear
I
Chronis
always
come back last night.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I came in.
Oh, you just came in, yeah.
Yeah, he came in, I think, because the help was working outdoors. And woke him
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Did you have a good sleep out there?
It wasn't bad.
Did you learn anything?
Nope, I was not out there to learn.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, what would I be out there to learn? I was just sitting there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So,
Well then.
go ahead. What would you guys like to do? You guys can go talk to Larnis some more, or I mean, you can do whatever you want, but Larnis, or you can go check in on Wolfram, or maybe the shops in town.
I am
or
gonna
the
pull
academy.
my 2 rocks out and be like, I think I want to go get these checked.
I mean, we could go to the academy. I did want to.
Oh, yeah.
I did want to. The map I found in my grandmother's journal. Even though we know a rough area thanks to the lenses, maybe one of the professors there might have an idea of which way that's going to take us and what out there.
Works for me.
Okay. Did you want to set up a meeting with the council ahead of time, or did you guys not want to do that? That's up to you guys. If you want to meet with the council before you go to the Lady of Webs, or do you want to do that later on? If you want to just schedule that for later on with Larnis, you can set that up too. Or you just want to play it fast and loose, and then once you get through all your other stuff for the day, you can set it up later, maybe the next day or whatnot. Uh-oh. I'm hearing static.
Is this better?
You sound like you're underground, but other than that.
Oh no! Someone used a bury the barbarian spell.
All right, so Skyward, you want to go shopping? You said today. So while they're going to the academy, you want to go look at the shops, or did you want to look at the shops with the group
Just look
first?
around at shops.
Okay. So let's do this. Who's all going to the academy today? I know Chronis and Faye were interested. Nika and Lorna, what would you guys like to do?
Hmm,
I'm gonna go check up on Wolfram.
I'll
Okay.
go with you because I'm just trying not to get into trouble.
I mean, coming with me probably isn't the best idea to stay out of trouble.
Okay, let's say I'm trying to keep you out of trouble as well. Because I think if anyone's going to start it, it's probably going to be me or you.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
take along with Skybore afterwards.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. So you're both going to check on Wolfram, is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Splitting the party 3 ways.
3 ways. Let's do this. You got it. So Faye and Chronis, you guys are going to make your way through the streets towards the academy. It'll take you some time. Actually, where did is that a handout that says what district the academy is in? It would be in the upper district. If I don't have it in there, I would imagine. I did not put that in this character sheet, so I owe you. Oh, here it is. Point of academy. Oh, I didn't put any description. Awesome. It is attached to, I mean, not necessarily the same district, but it's pretty much synonymous. Is that the right word? Synonymous with the upper district. It's attached to. It kind of makes up its own district, though, in a sense that it's everything in that area is just immediately related to the academy and the stuff that in study that goes on there. So you guys are going to make your way to that. It won't take you that much time. Lorna and Anika, you guys are going to make your way towards the blacksmith. And Skyboard, you're going to go around looking at shops. Did you have any shops of interest that particular? There's a few that you had discovered from walking around earlier, such as Knox's Elixir, the Iron Silk, which is the blacksmith that Lorna and Anika are going back to, and then the Hollows, the Tempting Rose, and the Lonely Hag.
I want to see if there's like a florist. Is there like a greenhouse or anything? Place that has various plants, a garden.
You're looking for like a garden now. Are you looking for more like where someone would buy flowers for people? Or are you looking for something like where they would actually grow produce and like almost like not traditional farming, but some form of farming?
Some form of farming.
Okay. There is a section of that, and again, I don't have it on here, but let me see if it's in the full city details, the name of that district or name of that area. There is a section that's not there. Let me see over here. It's called I don't see the exact same thing, but it's near the lake. The Lake Donegarten is the name of it. So there's a smaller lake, not like the Amethyst Lake, that serves a lot of the fresh water and food, like fish and different things like that. Near that is where they have some kind of gardening and produce that offers some of the food for the city. They do a lot of trading with other outside of the city, like with the Duergar and other drow strongholds in the area to complete that gap, but that produces the most amount of food if you want to head there.
Yeah, he'll head over there.
Okay. You do approach, and you see the lake. It's slightly different from the Amethyst. It's not as purple looking, but you see some workers in the field that are growing strange-looking kind of produce and vegetables. Some kind of look like melons of different colors, like you're used to seeing green shades of melons, but you see here there's some like almost grayish, and a lot of the produce that are in plant life down here is greens and blacks and grays and purples and reds and some blues. Those are the most common colors in the garden that you're seeing right now.
Is there like anyone working?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of people working in different patches. They grow them in kind of what you'd expect up on the surface through like patches, like they grow certain produce all together. So there's one person working every so many different fields. They're not every field's populated, but there's a person in each one, and they're just doing some of the maintenance on the produce right now.
All right, Skyboy is going to walk up to the closest one.
Okay. Let me get that. All right. And so you approach. Where are you? Where are you? Aha! It pays off to create characters. I didn't know you could talk to. So you approach a younger male drow working in the field. You see he's got kind of a green tunic shirt on, some scarring that kind of peeks out of the tunic. He's got a couple piercings and stuff. And you can just tell that he's kind of a lower class drow citizen or slave. You kind of catch him off guard. The fact that he's not really used to seeing a surface dweller, and then especially one that's just walking straight up to him, is kind of off-putting. He goes, "Yeah, what do you need?"
How do you grow these plants?
We plant the seeds, and they grow. Water them, and the light that's put off by the main tower kind of helps grow them, I guess.
He looks at the towers and he points. That tower?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works, but that thing that kind of imitates the sun, sunrise, sundown kind of stuff for the city, I guess does something to help these plants grow and perform normal life cycles for plants. He's a very smart slave or common.
I mean, he worked there. I mean, he should know.
Fair enough. Okay, good. Go ahead.
What are these plants called?
So he's the one working in kind of the melon field, the melon looking kind of field. It's a vining kind of plant that kind of sprawls like you would kind of expect on the surface. And these are called duons. They're kind of probably one of the sweeter produce like fruits that we have down here. And he picks one off the vine and looks around and makes sure no one sees, and he kind of takes one of the little daggers out of his pocket and cuts a little slice, kind of like a cantaloupe. And when he pulls it apart, you see this like grayish kind of shell. When he pulls it apart, it reveals kind of like a purple, fruity innards with a few seeds and stuff that are in there. And he kind of hands it to you and offers it to you to taste.
Where I am from, the most colorful of plants are usually the most poison.
We got some of that too if you're interested.
He just silently just turns around and just starts walking away.
Okay. All right. He just kind of like calls and he's like, "It's not poison. It's just a fruit."
All right. I'm done.
Okay. All right. Just want to put me on the spot. That's cool, Skywar. Thanks. Excellent. There's nothing else you want to do over in this area? You don't want to check anything else out or talk to any other gardeners?
I'll let other people get a chance.
Okay. So before Anika and Lorna, you guys get to the blacksmith, I'm gonna we're gonna go to Wolfram. So before you got there, Wolfram, you're working on the work orders over the night. You were able to complete half the orders for Dazana. You kind of have an internal clock after being down here for so long that you're getting that it's early morning, and you see the door open. You hear the keys kind of fidgeting with the door, and you see Nazana walk back in, and she goes, "You're still at it?"
They're not complete.
She kind of goes over to look at the work that you've been doing throughout the night. She goes, "Well, you made a decent chunk in it. We might actually finish on schedule today. I really appreciate it. I mean, I didn't expect you to really do that much work here over the night."
Great to help, and I did.
Well, are you able to help me out some more today, or do you have to be going anywhere? Because I could use some more help today. The orders are not going to lighten up, not for a while at least. I don't hear if you said anything back.
You can continue.
Okay. So she's going to go through and kind of look over some of the remaining work orders that she has. And at that time, Lorna and Anika come through the door, and you see Wolfram's at work, being diligent, crafting some of the supplies that Nizana was requesting, and you see Nizana on the other side of the counter, kind of going through some sheets of paper right now.
Hello there.
Hi. Oh, there's more of you. Welcome. Are you here to work as well?
I mean, I could.
You really don't want us to.
Yeah, which
At
she
least
said.
not me.
I could try, but
Yeah.
I'm sure a couple of weapons would probably get ruined.
At that, she's like, "No, I can't afford any setbacks right now. I'm sorry." Your friend, on the other hand, has proven himself quite handy in the shop, and it's making things go a lot smoother for us. So I appreciate the extra hands you guys offered.
course.
That's great. Say, Wolfram, did you need anything while we were out today? Did you want to join us for the rest of the council meeting?
Not require. I do not believe it will provide any benefit to politics.
I mean, neither will I, but okay.
I think
So
you
Renee-
two would offer. Both of you offer interesting viewpoints, assuming they care about other viewpoints.
That is true.
Council seems to value only their own viewpoints. I will not entertain to bore them or interrupt their meetings. I have work to do.
That is fair.
Okay.
Speaking of which, is there any way I could get studded leather armor from either of you?
Please fill out a
We do
form
have
and it will
money.
be. Please fill out a form and it will be attended to once we have finished these other tasks.
Okay.
Any points to a stack of to two stacks of papers and bins. One is a form that you have to fill out, and the other is forms that have already been filled out. The filled out forms is a very high stack.
That's awesome. Nizana will actually kind of like that's not. I don't know how she react to that. She's just like, yeah, to what he said. We got a lot of work orders. I don't think we'd be in the stuff that we have ready. I probably wouldn't be able to sell to you at a fair price, just because it's already kind of spoken for. But we do have some studded leather armor for sale. It would just probably be cost a little more. You'll have to sit around and wait a little bit till our good friend Wolfram can kind of catch up to the other extensive orders, as you can kind of see in his coming and going pile.
Do we have that time?
I mean,
Yeah. I think for studded leather armor, at the rate that Wolfram's going, he should be able to produce some studded leather armor by later on in the afternoon or the evening.
Okay. I will go fill out a form and only be mildly sarcastic on some of the answers.
She she'll say with your friend helping, I won't upcharge you or anything. It's going to be just the 40 gold pieces. But if you
Okay.
want it right now from our current inventory, it's going to be closer to 100 gold pieces.
I will make sure she doesn't get in any fights until she gets this armor.
Okay,
I'm not planning on getting into any fights. However, if one happens,
I just look at you like,
I'm trying to be good here.
trying is the key word.
Mm-hmm.
She'll kind of laugh and say, I appreciate your spirit, but I have to agree with your friend. That's probably not the best circumstances. You've shown
I
me
agree.
some consideration, but I still don't know who you all are exactly. I just know that you're with Bon Ray House, and but that really does not mean a whole lot to everyone at these trying times. But I'm not your mother. Do as you wish.
Did I give Lorna all of the gold and platinum I found yesterday?
Let me check.
I'm hoping you all are keeping track of that.
Okay, because then I have it all.
You
So
have
I'll
it all.
hand her the 40 gold, and when we get somewhere that's not so open, I'll give Lorna all the rest.
Okay, do you need me to pull that up? I think I might still have the...
I think I wrote
it down. It's like 2,700 gold pieces and 330 platinum.
Yep, you got it.
Except now there's 40 less gold.
All right. Again, I trust you guys to keep track of that all. So unless there's some major discrepancies, but you're keeping track of that in your player notes, I think, aren't you, Lorna?
It's
the game or in
Discord.
In Discord. Okay. So you guys got that under control. I don't need to police it. The only thing, that is one thing I did want to mention now. We may need to, I don't like the whole encumbrance crap. I really don't want to deal with any of that nonsense. But we may get to a point where we need to look at the bag of holding to see how much is being held in the bag of holding. Because I don't think you guys have sold or gotten rid of anything out of that bag of holding since we started playing.
Nope.
Speaking of which, a little bit of metagaming. I'm pretty sure there's like 12 things of armor in there.
There's armor, I think some weapons, I think there's some heads from basilisks that I'm not sure would be good anymore.
There's actually one set of studded leather.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, but Anika didn't know that.
And the question is it halfling size?
That is true.
It's more of a dress studded leather. It just goes down to your shins.
Don't a lot of things.
Well, I will go through it on the off times and figure all that shit out.
Sure. I mean, again, I don't want to get into that part of the game. That adds no fun value for me, but we may just want to keep that in consideration when it comes to keep accruing stuff. There is a certain maximum we have to just be mindful of.
We'll need to find a second bag of holding.
Oh, yeah.
Or just buy a second bag of holding. That's the solution for everything.
There's already a set of studded leather in the bag of holding.
Yeah, but my character doesn't know that. My character just knows Lorna has this bag.
Well, maybe that's a good dialogue point that I would allow that meta game to transfer into in-character gaming. Is there anything else you guys want to do at this store?
Don't know
You
how much use we would be.
From if you wanted, or you could go shopping elsewhere, or try to catch up with Skywar, or you can head to the academy. It's whatever you guys want to do.
I would like to see if she has more javelins.
Javelins? Let me see.
Yes.
She will say, I have a few ready. Again, depending on how many you want, you probably have to come back later in the day. I'll just add it to Wolfram's work order list. It'll get you anything for the javelins. I wouldn't charge you anything crazy, but if you wait till Wolfram creates more, I'll get you at cost, basically.
I can wait. I'll try not
Yeah.
to throw any today.
Okay. You still how many javelins do you have?
I have
Lorna?
2.
Okay. So she'll say if you need them right now, it's about a gold piece each. Otherwise, how many javelins do you want to purchase later on this afternoon?
Maybe like 7.
Okay. That would be, let me see, 3.5 gold. So we'll just round down. Since your friend's doing the work, we'll just round that to 3 gold since he's doing the labor to create them for you.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Wolfram.
Yeah.
Unless Wolfram has any objections, but it seems like he's doing what Wolfram loves right now. Okay. Anything else you guys want to do before I switch to Faye and Chronis approaching the academy?
No, I'm good.
Nah. I guess we'll just go exploring and / trying to stay out of trouble.
Okay. You guys start walking through the city streets, and I'm going to switch over to Chronis and Faye. In the meantime, Skybor and you three Skybor, Lorna, and Nika, you guys can decide in chat if you guys want to run into each other when you're going perusing through the streets or whatever, and then I'll just bring you up to speed once I get back to your groups. Faye and Chronis, you guys are approaching the academy. Faye is following the steps that she knows very well. Come on, one now. Let me get that back open. All right. So you guys are approaching the academy. It's this grand structure. It's this impressive palace that looks like this just massive university. It consists of several floors with 3 towers placed on each end. One in the left, one in the middle, one on the right. And Faye knows that each tower kind of represents a different schooling that the academy offers. So each tower kind of is dedicated to each kind of school of thought.
Yeah, I'm kind of pointing to each one. It's like, all right, the one over to the far left, that is the Arachnolith. That is the academy where those that wish to become priestesses to Lolth will go there to complete their studies. The one in front of us is sorcery. That was where I did primarily a lot of studying, along with the one to our right, which is melee mag there. That was a lot of combat and survival training there, and a lot of fun. A lot of tears, too, but fun.
The architecture is very similar to a lot of the other architecture in Menzo. A lot of blacks, a lot of purples, a lot of that kind of obsidian glass-like stone. A lot of spider and wolf and memorabilia all over the place. You guys approach and you just notice, though, Faye, you would notice primarily that the amount of people that are moving around and studying or conducting classes and stuff, it just seems very quiet, almost like a ghost town. You do see a few of the professors as you approach the middle tower, the middle one representing the where is it at on my thing? The middle one representing the School of the Arcane. You don't see professors that you know intimately well, but you recognize a few faces as they're kind of walking around and going from place to place. But otherwise, it's a pretty quiet place now.
All right, I don't see. I know those professors, but I'm not too familiar with them. Perhaps in the tower we might find Professor Tuin if she's still here. Hopefully she'll be able to tell you about your rocks.
That would be fantastic.
That makes me laugh so way more than it should. Sorry, 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, I'm sorry, did you want to talk to anyone, Faye, or did you want to go looking for someone specifically?
Yes, I was going to see a Professor Tuin, the professor that Faye in particular studied under, was still in the School of the Arcane, maybe in her office or something.
Okay. So, do you want to just kind of follow your normal routes, or did you want to ask anyone specifically, or just kind of show Chronis the way to where you last know her kind of offices, where her study was?
Hmm. Well, I could take you to her Professor Tuin's office. I would like to find out if she's here, so I'll see if I can flag down one of the students or one of the other professors.
Okay. You do, with not too much effort, you're able to finally find someone to talk to. It looks like a student. She kind of is caught off guard by your dragon-like appearance, as well as your dragon-born comrade. And she kind of hesitates and speaks. Yes, how can I help you? What are you looking? Who are you looking for?
Do you know if Professor Tuin's around?
She is. She's probably in her study, working on some research for the towers that defend the wall of the city right now. She's been kind of stuck there researching and not so much teaching classes or teaching students right now. Do you need me to show you how to get there, or do you know how to find your way there?
I just chuckle a little bit. I mean, I haven't been a student here for 10 years, but I do believe I know the way.
Okay. All right. She kind of just nods and dismisses herself and walks away, unless you guys have any other questions for her. And you guys can make your way to Tuin's office. And you guys can knock on her door. And I owe you guys art, which I don't have prepared. Sorry about that. That's my fault. You knock on her door, and but I will let you go ahead and introduce her, Faye, since you know her better than I do. Go ahead.
All right. I'll knock on the door, and as it opens, you'll see another Professor Tuin is about a middle-aged, almost elderly half-elf drow, much one of the few half drows in Minzo. But unlike Faye, she's not from any of the noble houses or anything. She got to where she is through pure determination and skill with the arcane. And unlike the other drow, you'll notice she also has kind of a kind demeanor about her.
She will see you guys enter the room, and she goes, "Faye, what? It's you, right?" And she kind of taken out back by your change in appearance. She goes, I can recognize you even with that. Whatever has happened to you, my child? Come in. I haven't seen an old student in a very long time."
Yes, it has been a while. Well, as for my appearance, that happened while I was traveling after being kidnapped by the Forgotten Armies and awakened a bit of a past bloodline.
Nice.
But that's a discussion for another time. As for why we are here, my friend Chronis here, I believe, has a question for you about 2 items he's came in possession of.
Uh, I'm quite busy, but she pauses but for you, I can make the time. Let me see. What do you have here?
So Cronus is going to reach into his little bag, and then the first one I'm going to pull out is the black sphere that we found in the mausoleum. And then when I hand it to her, I'm going to explain that it was calling out to me, and that's why I was able to find it.
Okay. All right. Um, all right. And are you handing it to her then?
Yes.
Um, she. Do you have any of the material components with you to identify this, or do you need to pull from the school supply, Faye?
I do have a bit of materials, and I'll hand her what she needs.
Okay. Let me see here. This is going to be a hard thing to. Shit, what's proficiency at? Let me look at this real quick. What's your proficiency bonus at right now? Is it 4 at level 7 or 3?
3.
She spends some time, and she, you see some of the magic kind of leave her fingertips as she kind of waves them over the black stone, and she's trying to figure out exactly, all the details as possible about it. But she seems to be struggling as her face kind of intensifies as she's trying to concentrate. So eventually the spell from her finger dissipates, and she kind of looks at the both of you and says, "This is really an odd object. It's definitely magical." She goes, I can't make out exactly what it is, but I feel like it's not complete, and maybe that's why I'm having a hard time figuring out what it is." But I'm picking up a lot of conjuration magic, like really, really strong conjuration magic. Sorry, I don't think that's the help that you were searching for, but that's all I can think of right now. It's not a complete set. I will say that it's part of something greater. Maybe that's why I can't get the full details of it right now.
All right. I'm going to extend my hand out to take it back, and then swap out the other one, and then explain that it talks to me, but it hasn't talked to me in a while, and it only talks to me when I cast darkness and other things onto it.
Okay. She, using some of the supplies that Faerly shared and things that you don't have, she kind of pulls from, her study and different storage areas around her room. And she starts casting the same spell. You see the kind of arcane flecks of magic kind of from her fingertips go over the item, and she's trying to understand exactly what it's doing. Let's see. Jesus Christ, I'm not allowed to roll tonight. So she is able to, because the spell though isn't that as strong as the other spell you were of the item that you were looking at. She is able to tell you something very similar. I want to give you more information than I've already given you, though. Out of character, I want to give you more information than I've already given you. So, what have I told you already, Chronis, about this item? That it's basically like it's tied to, as a communication almost between you and the we're calling him Victor now. And every time a spell is cast upon it, something random happens. I think that's all the information I provide so far, right?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
She is able to close that gap, regardless of that roll, because you already have that information, and I'm not going to make this stupid. Talking to a super high priestess of magic, so she's going to let you know that that's the same stuff, but she'll give you maybe a few more details, saying that when you cast spells upon this item, it activates it, and it will probably or allow the other person on the other end of the rock, or probably the original owner of the rock, to speak with the new owner of the rock, and it also affects the original location of the owner and teleports it basically randomly through the world. So she goes, I take it that the guy that sold this to you was kind of a screwball.
I mean, I got it on a hell of a deal, so I don't know about that. I felt like I one-upped them.
Yeah. Teleporting without any notice or advance and being impacted by spells might mess with your abilities to negotiate and determine what's real. So just keep that in mind when you're casting spells on this thing. You're tormenting a poor soul, but it's a fun find.
So it'll only talk to me if I cast a spell on it. That's what you're saying?
Talk is a stretch. I don't know how long of a conversation, but you will probably get little conversations back and forth.
I'm going to cast darkness on it.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit! It's dark again! What the hell is going on? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, shit.
I'm going to look over at Faye and be like, I think it hears me.
Is that my conscience?
What? No. You sold me the damn rock.
I'm going to be right back real quick. My pizza just arrived.
Oh, well, you keep messing up my house. You know that, right?
No. I'm just trying to talk to you.
You all are surrounded in darkness right now because he cast it on the rock. Well, if you could stop casting the darkness, that would be great.
Okay. When I learn other spells, I will cast it on this so I can talk to you.
Or or you could just come and talk to me in real life. That would be awesome too.
Where are you at?
Well, fucking A, I don't know. I have to go check. He just moved me around again. So you'll hear him walking away, and you hear a door open, and he's like, oh, fuck. He comes back, and he goes, well, I was in Espa, but that's no longer a thing. Now I am in Alveria. It looks like. And then that's pretty much where the conversation ends. You'll know all of Alveria, just that it's the country to the southwest of Dahlenberg, and Espa is the country to the northeast of Dahlenberg.
All right. I am going to go ahead and drop darkness.
Okay. The professor's kind of looking at you like, did you get all your questions answered from your little rock? Because did we say in the details that it's only you can hear it versus whoever the others? I think it says in the details that whoever casts a spell on that object hears the other side of it. So you kind of look like a crazy person just talking to your rock right now.
I mean, it did talk back to me.
Sure, it did. That's what the professor will say. Just kidding. She knows. All right. Is there anything else you guys are interested in or questions about? I know Faye probably may have some questions too, but did you have anything else, Chronis? In her absence, you could ask about the maps, the maze. Actually, who has the map with them in the shards? Does Faye have that all on her?
I have the
Yeah.
map.
You
All
have one of the.
I
you
mean,
have the
I
one
have
map.
I have the journal or diary.
That's true. I have the other map.
Who's got the shards though?
I would have assumed, since I knew they were going to the where you guys are.
Academy.
That's it. I would have given you the gem.
Okay.
Right? It makes sense.
So, yeah, that makes sense. So, Faye, you do have the journal and you have the 2 shards. You just heard Chronis talking to his rock. Did you get the details, Faye, from the rock thing?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Anything from either of you that you had additional questions?
Actually, I got one more thing.
Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Where can I get
Go ahead, Chris.
a container that can store acid?
A container? Are you asking the professor?
Yes.
She will kind of shrug her shoulder, like, we have plenty of glass vials around at the academy. She goes through, looking around, and she goes, I could probably give you 1 or 2, but if you go to one of the labs on your way out, you can grab a couple more. And she just hands you
I actually need
a glass.
something that's going to hold about a gallon of acid.
A gallon of acid? I don't...
Gallon of acid?
Like in one container?
Yes, something non-breakable as well.
That's a tall order, because I think acid, she kind of scratches her head, I think acid can only be stored in glass containers. I don't have an answer for that question. Let me think about that. If I can't come up with an answer, someone that specializes in potions and poisons and acids and stuff might be better to answer that question. Like an alchemist. We have a few of those here at the academy. Go talk to one of the alchemists here, or you can go to the alchemist that's in the middle of town and talk to them as well. That's a big storage container of acid, though. Do you mind if I ask you what you plan to do with a gallon of acid?
Yeah, I'm going to reach into my bag and pull the dragon egg out.
She is shocked. She goes, Where did you find it?
In a mountain.
She's just completely enamored with the dragon's egg. She's listening to you, but she just is trying to get up and close and try to study it as much as she goes, may I look at it?
I'll reluctantly hand it over.
She spends the better half of the next 15-20 minutes in deep study of this egg, and she then hands it back to you. She goes, do you know how rare this is of a find? How did it end up here? There hasn't been dragons in Twal in years.
We fought some werewolves. One of them had it on her.
She hands it back to you, and she goes, take great care of this, but I do recommend you hide this. Don't trust anyone with this information unless unless they're close confidants. I appreciate you sharing it with me, and as a friend of Faye, I'll keep this between us, but there are others in the world that will go to great lengths to basically bringing dragons back into the world under their command, especially with this current events of Forgotten on the rise.
I'll take the egg and I'll put it back in my bag for right now.
Okay. So you're looking for a bucket, essentially, not a vial.
Well, from what I read, it needs to stay in an incubated type of thing where it's submerged in acid.
Gotcha. Yes. Let's come back to that. And I'll look into that while we're playing along. But yeah, you could talk to the students, but this is going to be like I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, acid can only be stored in a glass container.
I
or copper.
believe so.
Probably.
Unless
Metal
it's
may
like-
work, but it would depend.
Unless it's like an enchanted barrel.
That's true.
But who on earth would enchant a barrel?
Yeah, I'll look into that. But we can definitely resolve that this session if that's something you're looking for, Chronis. So, did you have anything else to talk to the professor about? She cannot provide that right now. That's kind of like a custom request. A gallon to store acid is a kind of a special request. Faye, you said that
yes.
you had some-
I'm gonna take out the journal, and we went through the my grandmother's mausoleum, and we ended up finding her journal. And while I was studying last night, pulling a all-nighter trying to make heads or tails of it, I discovered a map in there, and with the help of my friends this morning, we discovered through the use of these shards, it seems to show a path. I'm curious if you recognize any of this path at all.
Her eyes get pretty serious. She goes, I've talked to Yvonne about this before, and I think I know what you're asking. But before I jump to any conclusions, can I see the map and the glasses that you have?
Yeah, I will. I'll flip to the page with the map and open it up, and then I'll hand her over the shards.
Okay. She sees the journal, and it's all, you just kind of, do insight checks, I should say. I guess.
Not bad.
Once you hand the journal and the glass, you see just a sense of familiarity kind of come over her, and she goes, "It's been a long, long time since I've looked at this with your grandmother, and between the two of us, we kind of found a secret place to store." Something of great value to her. She never shared exactly what the details were, and it's not my place to ask those type of questions. But using this glass here that was kind of bestowed upon the house of Von Ray, we were able to kind of use that to guide us for a way back to this kind of storage area where she hid her gift. And she looks through the glass and she goes, and it looks like you were clever enough to put this together. And it is exactly what you think it is, Lady Faye.
So if me and my friends were to follow this path, is there anything we should look out for along the way, or just keep our heads about us?
I may be able to answer some of your questions. You might need to consult with the other professors for details, but I don't know if you want to show your cards to some of the others that may not be. I just don't know who you can trust anymore. They weren't the most friendly before, and now that the city's gone to hell, my circle of friends is even smaller now. So I don't know who to say to trust or not trust anymore. But I can definitely get you started, and I think if you follow this map, you'll find your way to where you need. But she kind of shows you through looking through the glass. She goes, "This is the entry point that you want to enter the Dark Dominion that starts you on the trail." And she shows that it's to the west, the western side of the Dark Dominion. You can kind of ascertain again from the high-level view, where you can kind of make out, oh, we came out of the den of spiders here. We ran to the wall. It's about a quarter mile. It looks like, if the scale roughly is a quarter mile down the wall, and then up a little bit, so you will have to climb a bit to get to the entrance. She goes, I'm familiar with this. You'll notice that it has almost like it looks like the stalagmites that fall, or is that stalagmite? It doesn't matter. The stone formations that fall from the opening kind of resemble like fangs of a snake. It's pretty discernible when you're in the area looking for what you're looking for. Once you enter there, you'll be going through tunnels for quite a bit. You'll see. Let's double check her notes. She'll tell you, just be careful, follow the map true in the tunnels, because the tunnels, as you're aware, Faye, it's not all traps and things that hurt you, but people will lose their minds in there if they get turned around, and they'll go crazy in these tunnels if they don't keep their wits about them or their friends about them. As she kind of notions over to Chronis, and she says, if you make your way through these tunnels, again, following these points, you'll eventually get to some of the older tunnels in the Dark Dominion. These tunnels are said to be carved out by some of the, some like giant worms that used to be common in this area, and that those were the initial architects, if you will, of these tunnels. And then that's about all the information she has for the path. But she goes, you follow this through and you keep going and follow these ancient tunnels. They'll be noticeably different than the regular tunnels that you've been through. Structure-wise, they just and that should lead you to your the hiding place of Yvonne.
All right. Thanks, Professor. That's a lot of help. As for the other professors, the way I can think of perhaps not showing the cards per se, I have one of my friends wants to recruit the stone giants. I could say this map we found in my grandmother's things, not showing the shards, of course, and say supposedly it leads to stone giants, and if we follow it, what kind of dangers might be around there.
That's a perfect idea. There will be no shortcoming of stone giants on the perimeters of the Christ tunnels. That's for sure. Part of me thinks that's why they stay.
I'll just look at Chronis.
Weird.
Chronis, that sounds like 2 birds, 1 stone, doesn't it?
Chronis was paying 0 attention So he's just going to give him the thumbs up, or give her the thumbs up.
Okay.
But now, to figure out which professor to go about it, we'd have to go to the Warrior Academy. Do you know which professors are still there?
So there are the main professors are still with us. So you have Professor Ilros of House Fane. Ilros is still the lead professor over there for the School of Magthair, or basically the martial part of the academy. And then you have Raylan of House Malarn over in the I can't read this. I'm so sorry. Arachtonolith part of the academy, which is basically the priestess cleric academy part of the academy. I'm not suggesting one way or the other, but I think you're going to get further with Raylan than you will with Ilros.
That's true.
But Ilros might know more about some of the more ancient tunnels and the dangers in there.
That's what I'm thinking, especially considering he was the one when I was 15 that decided it was a great idea to send the class on survival missions in the Underdark and tell them to find their way back.
That sounds something like Ilros would do.
Yeah.
Ilros is a male, right? I'm sorry, because I don't.
Yeah, Ilros is a male.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
Chronis is going to look over and be like, well, it worked, didn't it? Teaching that way.
Half the class was killed.
But the other half survived, and you're still here, so it means it worked.
The professor is taken aback, and she goes, "You're right."
You're right, but you're wrong. But Faye is contemplating what she wants to say, but she can't deny that it did work.
Also, if you're wanting to keep facts hidden, you should just say, we need to know what's in the tunnels to get around the Forgotten. Not give them any details.
All right, that's fair. All right, I think we have a good idea. Well, Professor Raylan would be nice to see. I don't think we need the help of the Divine right now to figure out what's out there. So I guess we'll go see Professor Eros. Thank you, Professor Chuan. It was great to see you again.
She will reach out to take your hand and shake it, and she goes, "I wish you well. Please see me if you need anything else before you leave the city. I must get back to my studies. Keeping these tower defenses going has kind of become my primary job during these times. So I have little time for other things, but pleasantries like this are welcomed."
Of course, and maybe before I leave, I could show you what I've learned on the road. Show you some of the new spells I've came to learn. I haven't mastered a lot of them, but they're getting there.
Absolutely. And with that, she'll kind of politely nod to both of you and kind of walk back to the other side of her desk and start kind of reading back in her book. But she kind of does it while standing in case there's anything else you guys want to ask while you're.
Nope, I will open the door for Chronis and follow behind.
Okay. While you guys are heading to, you want to go talk to Professor Elrose of House Fane, right?
Correct.
So, okay. While you're making your way through the halls, I'm going to switch to the other groups just to see what everyone else is doing, and then we'll come back. Okay.
Alrighty.
So back to let's go ahead and take care of you, Wolfram. So you're still working in the shop through that day. During this time, it's probably getting to be right before, I'd say around 10 o'clock in the morning. Go ahead and, sorry, Wolfram, you're disconnected, so let me know when you're back and we'll go to the other group. Oh, I'm sorry, are you back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's, one second, my daughter's calling my name, sorry.
I do like the fastball special idea.
Sorry, guys.
Just saying, we could.
Totally good.
So back to you, Wolfram. So you're working in the shop. You're diligently working through the orders and stuff. So let's go ahead and do a blacksmith roll. And also, is there anything else you want to do? Did you want to talk to Nizana? Did you want to pray to Moradin? Did you have anything else you want to?
Praise through his deeds, so I guess just he's gonna keep on working.
Okay. Let's do a blacksmith check. And let's do a I guess that would be religion kind of check to see, I guess. Okay. And then go ahead. Religion. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna use the fate token on that.
On the Smith tools. Okay. Okay.
Sure.
So you're making progress through them, not as fast as you were last night, but you are still making steady progress on the tools. You're probably just getting, even though you don't get sleepy or exhausted, you're just kind of maybe getting a little run down of the repetitive nature of the orders, but you're still putting out, satisfying work. But as you're working, you notice that when you set one of your tools down, like one of the smithing hammers down, you notice that when you go back to pick it back up later on to continue work, you notice that it has spun in another direction, pointing towards the southeast would be for you. So similar kind of in the direction that you guys came from the from the den of spiders when you came from the Lady of Webs. You can make an insight check to read into that more, but you do notice that it was the hammer's not hatched. You left it, and but you're not, without an insight check, you're not 100% to make sure of it. But you think you at least you know that this is you feel that there's a connection between, like, this is kind of a sign that towards like the stone giants, the last thing that you kind of were asking about previously. So you have a better, even a more accurate bearing as to where the stone giants are for your own information now. Nizana will come over and just kind of look over your work, and she'll thank you again, and she'll go back to her side and keep working away on the orders as well. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
He informs Nizana that he is taking a break.
Okay.
That it was towards the place where the Driders were.
Correct.
Is there any place that has, I don't know what the right word would be, like a jeweler's anywhere?
You talk like for stone, like polished stones and things like that?
Yeah, like some like pendants or polished stones or stuff like that.
Yes, there would probably be a store in the upper district, not in the middle district. This would probably be a place where you go find jewelry and stuff. You're not looking for magical stuff, but you're talking like almost like a jewelry store, or a place that will sell polished or manufactured stuff.
Oh, no, wait. Yeah, I only have 5 gold. Never mind.
Okay. Do you want to keep, or would you like to do? I'll leave it open to you. You can try
He'll
to
keep that in. He'll keep that in mind. But I only have 5 gold. I can't buy anything. So he will continue to work until, at the very least, 80% of the orders are done, and then after that, he'll start to work on his project.
Okay. You can. I mean, if you want, you can look for the other adventurers and as they're making their way around town. But you're welcome to do that too. It's totally your.
Nah, he's got to at least help Nasana finish like 80% of her stuff before he just ups and leaves.
Okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and go to Skybor and Lorna and Anika. Did you guys decide if you were going to run into each other, or are you guys still set?
I figured we would run into each other.
Yeah.
Is that cool, Skybor, or did you want to still
Yes.
lone wolf it a little bit? Okay.
That's fine.
I just like to give you guys the option. So you guys make your way through town, running into one another. I'll go ahead and let you guys take it off from there, or what you guys would like to do next.
Skybor is searching for either an herbalist or a florist.
Okay.
A herbalist, or someone that has alchemical herbs and stuff to use however you need.
Herbs.
Okay. You did see all the shops that I pointed out. I would imagine between the three of you guys can maybe deduce that Nox's Elixir might be the most ideal place for you guys to look for, because that alchemists use, plant life and stuff to create the potions that they need. So is that where you guys want to head?
Probably, yeah.
Sure.
It's worth the checkout, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys walk in, or you guys make your way through the districts and finally get to his store. And I think I have him in the middle district or the lower district. Let me check. Doth Cloyne, which I think is the lower. It's not showing me the whole text. It's not. It says it's the middle district. Okay, so you guys make it to the middle district, and actually, let me see one last thing. Sorry, guys. There's just so many different places here, so I'm trying to keep them all together. All right, let's do this. So, making your way back to the middle district, you guys are walking around. It's again now getting to be probably around 11 o'clock, right before lunch. And you hear, as you're making your way to that shop, you hear a large commotion. You see the otherwise quieter streets with the lack of citizens. Even them have kind of come out to see what's going on. Skybor, Lorna, and Anika, as you guys are passing through, you come closer to a section known as the Hollows. It's a kind of coliseum in Menzo. And you see in the street, there's a wooden platform with several slaves standing there in chains around their necks and ankles and feet. you see a drow kind of looking over them, and then they kind of step off, and another set of slaves up on the stage. He looks over them, and he's kind of talking out loud. People are kind of getting excited about him, almost kind of shopping over these slaves. And he says, "I have no need for the others. They won't last long enough, except maybe to be an exhibition for an execution. But these 6 will do to kind of refill the ranks of my gladiators." And as he points to the first set that was initially on the stage, and he goes over to one of the drow and says, "I'll offer you 20 gold for them." And you see there's some kind of dispute over the amount of earnings. And they finally come to an agreement. He gets the slaves. What's that?
I run up.
You run up?
I run up.
Cool. I'm attached to her.
It doesn't matter. She's not stopping me.
Okay. You run up to him, and immediately some of the no one jumps at you. You're not doing anything inherently criminal right now, but the kind of the guards are on edge and looking at you.
Are those? Oh, seriously, mate?
Are you casting that on Lorna Skyward?
Yeah.
15.
What's your DC?
Fuck! Did I make it?
Oh, nope.
No!
How far'd she get?
I would say she made it far enough to get the attention of some of the guards, but not all the guards. Well, make a dexterity save, Skyward, to see how far she got. Okay. She got far enough to get the attention of some of the guards, and now they're just kind of confused as to what happened, because she's kind of frozen in mid-run right now. It's very obviously that something's not normal going on with her. But Anika, you're right.
Question. Were they speaking in common or undercommon?
Oh, fuck.
I am going to say common because this is getting boring that you guys can't understand half the shit that's going on. I'm sorry. I know that's probably bad. That's probably a bad GM thing, but I fucking think it's boring that you guys can't hear anything that's going on besides today.
Let's say they're speaking undercommon, but we have the subtitles on.
Yeah.
They're speaking undercommon, but you have been hearing it for quite some time that you're picking it up pretty good, actually.
And let's just say numbers are universal. I'm going to reach into the bag of holding, because I'm assuming I know because I read. I'm going to pull out 10 platinum.
Yep.
Oh.
And then I'm going to walk up to the drow, say, "So you're selling the slaves for 20 gold?"
Well, he's like, "Well, we've kind of come to an agreement of 30 now, but yeah."
Okay, here's 5 platinum. I'll take them.
Vorn will be very, very kind of disgruntled, and he goes, "Excuse me, we had an arrangement. These slaves are earning a chance at freedom."
And House Bonray would like to buy them. And I wave the platinum in their face, as far as their faces I can reach.
Seeing that they already belong to me and the deal has been made, I will take your 5 platinum, and I will have discussions with House Bonray at a later time to let them know how business is conducted down here in Menzo. Who are you with from House Bonray?
Does it really matter?
Oh, it does.
I'm not sure it does. And I hold out 3 more platinum.
Ma'am, you're speaking to someone from the House of Andre. Your bribes are impressive, but not necessary. And he kind of notions to the guards in the area, like, "Who are you with House Bonray?"
Just tell them.
Fine. Faye.
Faye Bonray, she returns back to Benzo after fleeing and hiding.
Excuse you,
Uninterested.
ass. I'm sorry, jerk. Being kidnapped is not fleeing.
Well, if she was
Unless, of course,
stronger,
you
she
would like
wouldn't
to
have
be
been
kidnapped. Oh, have you tried? Has anyone attempted to kidnap you?
They wouldn't dare. Otherwise, I'd have them hung.
Oh, is that how the Forgotten work? Gee, I guess you know all the things. Also, if Lorna's close enough, I'm going to dispel Skybore's spell.
Oh shit.
Wait, hang on. I don't think I have that spell, actually. Yeah, I'm going to dispel the magic now.
I run up behind Anika. Just like looking all pissy and cross my arms and just, back her up a little bit.
Okay. Skybor, what are you doing at this time?
Just turns around and starts walking away.
Skyboard! Back up!
I don't know them.
It's not even like a or anything like that. It's like he just gave up. He just turns around and just starts dragging his feet, walking away, shoulders slumped and everything. Just he's done.
I mean,
Okay. So some of the guards take note of you being a unique looking individual down here walking away, but they're focused on the redhead and the feisty little one that is mouthing off to a noble of House Vondre. I need a moment to process what would actually happen in this scenario, to be completely honest.
I offered to buy the slaves.
Yep.
He doesn't have to take it.
I mean, he agreed.
He did, and then got pissy about it.
It's kind of the way she said it.
Okay.
I offered to take them. That was as nice as it was going to get.
With all due respect, sir, Lady Bonneray has requested that we find her some more slaves since she has arrived back. With another member of the household, she needs a little bit more protection, and having a few body bags around would help.
Especially with such the imminent threat at the walls. It can never be too safe.
You may have. I'm keeping the platinum for not ordering these guards to not put you in handcuffs for the way you're speaking to me. But I will allow you to take half of these slaves. You get to choose. I can make way more off after one gladiator tournament in this, from a show, I guess, of selling out seats and tickets to see these fine slaves do combat for and life and death scenario. People will pay a fair price to see some bloodshed for entertainment these days.
I'll just look up at Lorna, because I know if I say something, it's going to be bad.
When and where is this tournament?
We'll probably have a tournament here in the next 3 days.
And if you give us all the slaves, and we give you one to participate.
One? You said?
Yes.
He goes, nobody
I'm
wants
going to kick Lorna in the shins.
He's going to say, no one's going to come to see one, and I need teams of 6 to fight against one another to see who comes out on top. And that's the group that wins. Not only do they get their lives, they get their freedom. I can't put a team together in less than 3 days with only one of these specimens.
I kick Lorna's shins again, knowing what she's going to say.
No. Oh, I don't know what to do.
Unless you can promise me replacement slaves from House Bon Ray, I would make an even exchange, and you may keep your platinum.
I will climb up Lorna, I guess, to whisper in her ear, or pull her down to me, I guess. You do realize if we enter this like I think you do, we have to kill the other party.
And who might this other party be, sir?
While other slaves are fighting for their freedom, this is a great honor to fight in the Colosseum, in the Hollows.
Of course, or we would be the one dying.
Well, I'm sure people would pay good money to see that.
I pulled Lorna back down it. I did not say that loud.
He doesn't know we're thinking of 6 people who are pretty good at fighting.
Yeah, I do, but he does not.
Well, we will take half the slaves, but I don't know what I'm trying to add.
It's okay. We can play this fast on this. I'm trying to play this too at the same time. I'm trying not to be too heavy-handed on this because I really do want you guys to do whatever you want, even though I feel you are in a kind of a sticky situation because the council told you to keep your nose clean at the same time.
Yep.
So I'm trying to play this fair, and if you don't feel like this is fair, let me know. I can adapt. But I think this is pretty fair for the situation.
This
you're
is
fine.
Great. It's inner turmoil for Lorna.
And me. It's inner turmoil for everyone. I pull the barbarian back down. I don't really think we have much of a better choice.
No.
I mean, ignoring the fact that I hate this politician and would really like to see him smashed into the ground. We can't afford it.
I mean, we can, but
if we, how about let's try to do that politically instead of you literally punching him into the ground.
Yes. I look back at the draft. So, 3 slaves for 5 platinum. No, it was 3 platinum.
No, it's 5.
Oh, it was 5.
5 platinum for 3 of these slaves. And your friend doesn't end up in jail.
I mean, she'll end up at jail at some point. That's a guarantee, but...
No, it's not.
For now, we'll agree to those terms. But, if we find a team of 6, by the time the tournament starts, we get the other 3. No charge.
Deal. But I feel like it would be in poor form of me to not let you know that this is a fight to the death. Only one team wins, and that team ends their right to leave the Hollows.
Understood.
Then fine. If you come back with a team of 6, I will gladly take your entry for the remaining 3. Otherwise, I will just I will recruit another 6. And in the meantime, he yells back at the other drow that was originally with the other slaves he brought. I guess give me the 3 of the other ones. They'll make do in case these ladies, fall back on their promise. And he throws another bag of 20 gold to the drow, and he gets a few more slaves to fill up the ones you just took from him. Which slaves would you guys like to free? You see, of the 6 he originally was purchasing, you see a Druagar, 2 hobgoblins, a drow male, a troll, and a dwarf.
Mm,
I'll let you choose.
let's see. The troll and the 2 hobgoblins.
The troll and the 2 hobgoblins?
Mhm.
And very interesting.
I have my reasons. It's mainly because I think it'll hurt his business the most to lose them.
Okay. Lorna, do you agree, or do you have your own way in on which 3 you should choose?
No, I completely let her do whatever.
Okay. So he unchains the 3 from the remainder of the group. The troll kind of reacts and is trying to resist, but it's pretty much for nothing. And he hands the 3 slaves over to you, still in chains and binds, and says, "Here you go. Some additional slaves for House Bonray. Please tell Larnis that I will be speaking with her in the near future."
Thank you so kindly for the business opportunity. And I'll turn and leave.
Oh, I didn't catch either of your names either. What's your names again?
I'm still walking.
Okay. Lorna, are you walking or?
I turn back and I look at him. The name is Flora.
It's
And
what?
Flora.
Okay.
And I continue walking away. Actually, I turn back. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name either.
The name is Vaughn Vondre. And make a deception check if you're trying to give him a fake name.
18.
Flora, is it? Okay. It's good to know. We will be seeing each other soon, I hope. Otherwise, please come back and buy a ticket to see the show. It's quite entertaining.
We'll be there. And I hurriedly walk away with the slaves in tow.
Okay. So you guys have 3 slaves. You guys are walking back to House Bonray. Are you trying to catch back up to Skyboard and head to the elixir shop, or?
I'm just looking at Anika like, what the fuck did we just do?
I figured us literally feeding the slaves would probably end us up in actual jail. So I thought we'd buy them and then free them.
I mean, that's what I was planning to do. But now there's a tournament and all this shit. And
yeah, about that, I have an idea, sort of.
Okay. Maybe we should discuss it with the others.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, I don't actually speak goblin or troll.
That's great.
One goblin does speak common, but he's been conditioned not to speak on the spoken too. But you see him kind of, his eyes kind of going back and forth between the two, and you can just tell that he's understanding what you guys are saying back and forth, but he doesn't speak.
I'll turn to him as they're walking. You can actually speak if you want to. Also, please tell them what we're doing. And try not to fight us. We're actually not slave owners. Technically.
He looks at you and goes, "You don't say." He goes, "I can talk to this guy. I don't know how to speak to a troll."
I'm sure there's some kind of magic for that.
What languages do
The
trolls
troll
speak?
seems very aggravated and angry, and not very friendly to either anyone basically in your party.
Great. What language do they speak?
That's a great question. Let me pull it up.
I think they speak Sylvan. I think.
I do
They
not have
speak
that.
giant.
Oh,
Shit. I don't have that.
Mm-mm.
I think Wolfram does.
We should
So-
probably send someone back to the. We should find Skyborn, send him back to Wolfram, and let him know that he should probably come back to the house tonight.
Yeah. You know what?
And we should definitely not be too long on the street with 2 hobgoblins and a troll in chains.
No. Us being us and all.
You know, servants of House Bonray and all that.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, playa. Catch up with Skybor. Quickly buy the things we need to. Go back to the house as quick as possible.
I think maybe we should get these back to the house first. It is still afternoonish, like noon.
Yeah, it's coming about lunchtime now that you've kind of had that transfer. So you guys are going back to the house. You have not caught up with Skybor then?
Yeah, I think we're just.
that would probably be for best.
Okay. So you two escort 3 slaves that you knew you just recently purchased back to House Bonray. Let's go back to you, Skybor. So you walked away from your friends getting into trouble. Are you heading to continuing your path to Nox's elixirs?
Yeah.
Or is there anything else you'd like?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going to find an herbalist or a florist.
Okay. Okay, so you do make it finally to Nox's elixirs. Let me get that open. And you walk in and you see traditional arrangements of some other alchemical shops and herbalist shops that you've seen where there's dried flowers and herbs that hang, but the flora or the fauna, is that the right way of saying it, is more representative of like the plants and stuff that grow in the Underdark versus like some of the other stuff that you'd see on the surface. You see an older gentleman that you would just assume that is Nox. He's kind of hobbling around with a cane, kind of checking some of the things that he's brewing into potions. And he hears the door open and close. Yeah, how can I help you today? And he turns and looks at you, this strange non-drow person. He says that in Undercommon, and he sees you. He's like, "You're not what I was expecting." Oh, what can I do for you?
Was that in common?
Yeah, he starts saying that in common.
Okay. I am looking for various plants. Did you grow these?
Some of them I grew. Others I've had to acquire from places and other sources. Some from the gardens near the lake. Others had to be sought out from the Dark Dominion. That's kind of been scarce, though, for some time.
When you say lake, you mean underground lake?
Yes, the lake next to all the gardens and stuff that are near in Minzo. No, not the Amethyst Lake. That's been years since I've seen that lake.
How did these grow?
Well, which are you? What are you
The one
looking
that was
for?
at the lake. The one that doesn't have that's not around the tower.
Okay. So he'll kind of say this. He goes, this one. Does not need any kind of organic light to help it grow and mature. I've studied it a little bit here and there, and it kind of grows near some of this fungus. And he pulls. He goes. He kind of goes back and starts looking for something. He spends about a minute, and he turns. What can I help you with?
I just want to know how they grow.
What? How does what grow?
These herbs.
Oh yes. Oh, sorry. Let me show you. And he turns around and he's back in the same box and he's fumbling around and he finally pulls it out. And he pulls out a little fungus, and he's very forgetful, as you'll figure out as you're kind of connecting the dots while talking to him. And he brings it over to you. He's like, "Let me show you this." And he takes a cloak from underneath the counter and places it over the fungus and just kind of tilts the one end up a little bit so you can see it. And you notice that it's kind of giving off this kind of purplish glow. It doesn't need the arcane light because it grows near some of this fungus in the darkness that kind of gives off its own kind of luminescent light that helps some of the neighboring plants grow from it.
It's also purple.
It is purple, yeah. Are you seeking a specific color?
What gives off the light from the tower? Do you know?
In layman's terms, of how I understand it, is that the Academy engineered it, and similar to the other towers, they continue to focus the energy and the mages and stuff that kind of keep everything going. That's about as best as I understand it. It's basically the results of the Academy's continuous efforts in dabbling in different spells that kind of focuses and amplifies the powers of the different mages inside of Menzo. I'm sorry, that's a horrible explanation. I still don't quite get it either.
Magic.
Magic makes things work. Yes.
Yeah. What does the herbs look like? Are they also almost colorless?
Colorless in the sense that, again, you'll see some of those common colors that are down here, the blues, the purples, the reds, and just grays, and different shades of grays and blacks, and maybe some greenery, but it's not like bright, vibrant greenery. You'll see some of the stuff that's like more rose-like. Then you'll see some stuff that's kind of similar to wildflowers. You know, they're along a long stem. They have flowers that sprout off the side all the way to the tip. Would kind of mimic like a marigold or something. How they're kind of the petals are clustered, but instead of it being that bright yellow, there's some of this that are grays or purples primarily. Is there something specific that you're looking for or wanting to inquire about or seek?
No, he's getting a bit homesick, you know, being away from the sun for so long and seeing these very foreign plant life is just not helping.
Okay.
He's going to
Are you visibly unhappy with what he's showing?
Oh yeah, he is seem very depressed.
Okay. He's going to. Well, you know what? Let me do this. What insight is intelligence or
Wisdom? I mean, he's not hiding it.
I know. I'm just trying to see if he would read it at all. But yeah, he can kind of tell that you're not happy with what he's showing you. He's like, let me see if I have something that might be up your alley. He kind of moves around, goes back. You kind of lose sight of him for a minute. And at the time, you kind of get closer look at the flowers. Again, they're kind of dim and mute. this is something maybe you're more interested in. And he opens a little box, and it has this hibiscus kind of looking flower. It's this big open petal flower. It's still not bright like a surface flower, but it's pretty bright for down here. The petals are very bright. The centerpieces, as it comes away from the what's the center part of a flower called? I can't think of it. The pollen center. Jesus Christ! It's bright red, but you see some speckling of purple on each petal, and then on the tips there is a purple trim around each petal. Is this something you would be more interested in?
What flower is this?
This is the I hate you Skyboard flower.
It's the most beautiful flower ever.
Oh fuck. Jesus Christ. I don't know regular flower names.
It is the Underdark Petunia.
This is
Up the top.
This is gonna be called Hybo?
Okay.
Sure.
Hybo.
It's a Hybo flower.
A Hybo. Okay.
Yes. It's very rare. Some might say one of a kind. I'm so sorry. I do my best to prepare as much as I can for you guys, but you always keep me on my toes. I love it. Go for so. Yeah.
I hate it. And he walks away.
Looks confused, and he closes the box and takes it back. He goes, well, is there anything else I can do for you?
He sighs. No. And then he just walks away.
Okay. Where are you heading next, sir?
You know what? I'm going to keep riding this train. I'm going to the florist.
Okay.
But you can give it to someone else.
Okay, yeah, while I plug in a random name generator for flowers.
Gotta love druids.
I should. Why didn't you think of all the fauna and plant life for this city and area? Because I'm a shitty GM. That's why. Back to you, saying Chronis at the academy.
Alright, so
it really is a generator. I like this one. Noxious Poppy. I like that plant. That's cool.
So we go over to the Warrior Academy. Having known Professor Fane is already there, I'll begrudgingly lead Chronis up to his office.
Okay. What would you guys like to do at the door? Just walk on in, knock? What would you like?
I take a deep breath outside before I decide to knock. Like Chronis will notice I hesitate to start knocking, and then take another deep breath and just knock.
I just reach over and start knocking for.
Yes, please come in.
I'll open the door and greetings, Professor.
I'm going to share this with you, Lorna, just because I know you're streaming, so it's not as boring for the stream, but you do not know this character yet. Okay. Lady Faye, it's been quite some time since I've been honored with your presence. What brings you back to here? Ready for another tour in the Dark Dominion?
That's actually precisely why I'm here, Professor. See, I recently came across a map, and I do hope to avoid the forgotten on this little excursion, I am curious about some of the other threats that might be out there.
And what exactly are you looking to do in the Dark Dominion? What's making you leave the sanctuary of these walls right now?
Well, I'm hoping to get us allies with the stone giants, of course.
The stone giants are fools, and they do not quickly involve themselves with the matters of our people and our kind. Why would they leave their havens to side with you?
Maybe so, but I do have a friend, a warforged by the name of Wolfram, who says he knows something that will get the cloud giants to come to our aid and ally up with us against the Forgotten.
Cloud giants?
Sorry, stone giants. Sorry. I've been too many campaigns with giants.
Okay.
Stone giants.
All right. Stone. He kind of a warforged. You say it's been some time since I've even seen a warforged, but I must ask. I've heard that you've slighted my sister, and have kind of fled your arranged marriage to. Never mind. I'm sorry. That's House Mondre. I'm fucking up. Revert that. So he'll be like, I can show you a thing or two, perhaps. What exactly do you want me to show you or explain to you?
Well, I'll generally go over a rough estimate of where the map is going to take us.
Okay, so you're not sharing the map or the shards, or you are sharing the map?
I'm trying to think if it's a good idea to show him the map. I'm not showing him the shards for sure. The shards are not going to be shown.
Okay. So you show him your map, which is a little bit detail. Again, it's a high level map, but it gives you a very strong sense of the scale of the Dark Dominion and some of the regions of the Dark Dominion. And he goes, so where are you interested in this map? And you point it out to him, right?
Like, I'll follow the rough path, and then I'll deviate towards the end about 3/4 of the way.
Okay. So you're going to kind of go through the starting point, like the entry to the tunnels, and then approach the Craze tunnels. But are you going to show him the Elder tunnels that were kind of carved by ancient worms and stuff that kind of started the initial honeycomb of the Dark Dominion?
I'm not going to show him the Elder ones.
Okay. He goes, oh, you should recognize these tunnels a little bit. You probably didn't go all the way through them, but you experienced these a little bit in your earlier training. Probably the only reason you made it back is that you didn't venture further into here. But yes, you're going through these, you said.
That is correct.
Well, I would make sure that you keep your wits about you and keep your bearings. It's quite easy to get turned around. But I'm sure someone from House Bonray will have no problem with making it in and out.
I mean, I'm only as good as the ones who taught me.
Oh, this is true. I don't want it to reflect badly on me. Or your Professor Zara, who has taken such a fondness to you, a liking to you. You've got your friend, Dragonborn. Is he willing to have you explain some of the dangers and memories that you have to the Dark Dominion? Is he's ready for the same kind of commitment that you're ready to make?
I've gone through a little bit of it. I'm going to tell him in more detail when we have the rest of our friends with us. no reason to withhold that information from them.
He looks at you, Chronis, and he goes, so has he told you about those that have lost their minds while trying to make their way through the Dark Dominion, and those that have not lost their minds have been slain or killed by not only traps, things that we've placed in there to keep outsiders out of Menzo, but the things that have taken home inside of the tunnels as well?
Everything you have told me sounds like a lot of fun.
He is irritated that he has not moved you with his words. And he goes, make it quick, Faye. What do you and your friend want? I like the details. I need. What are you asking me? Are you asking me of how to make your way through it?
That would be most useful, Professor. What would be the best way to go about it?
You just need to keep your bearings at all times and your wits about you. Rely on your group. That's why most that are fail to make it out is that they try to go in alone and not work as a team. Things that look one way will look another. You really just need to rely on one another to kind of seek out what's the real route and make your way in and out of there.
Of course.
There will be illusions, creatures that play with your mind, as well as just the environment itself that will cause you to question reality.
Alright, well, we've already dealt with some illusions earlier, so hopefully we are more aware of what to expect with them.
I will say it's been a very long time since I know of any party going through these tunnels. Except for, where did you get this journal from?
Well, I found it at home in one of the studies, and figured it might be worth checking out.
He kind of pauses. You're welcome, Chronis or Faye, to make an insight check if you want to try to get a read on him, what that pause might mean. But he says, well, there's nothing else I can do for you today. I need to get back to my studies. I have to prepare the next kind of regiment of warriors and those that are going to be fighting the wall and going out to slay these damned forgotten, at least until House Bane can convince the others that an alliance may be the most practical to overtake the surface and still maintain some form of independence.
Of course. And I'll have you know your teachings has helped me slay many members of the Forgotten.
Well, if there's nothing else I can help you with.
Good day, Professor. I'll leave you to your work, and good luck training the next generation.
I will.
On the way out of the room, I'm gonna be like, this guy's an asshole to Faye.
In Draconic, I will respond, yeah, he is, but he does know his stuff. Let's go find the others. Unless you want to visit the other academy.
I would like to see an alchemist. I think that's what the first professor had suggested.
Alright, let's go find you an alchemist.
was supposed to look that up for you. Okay, so an alchemist is most likely going to be in the Arcane Academy, so back to the middle portion of the academy. It's getting to be about 2 to 3 o'clock now in the afternoon for everyone. As you approach the back of the Arcane School, unless you want to speak to anyone specifically, you ask around, and the students kind of show you some of the studies where they study how to make potions and poisons and different kind of elixirs, where they get most of that training from. Let me get this open, and you guys make your way there. And when you walk in, you see, where is her character sheet? All right. Sorry, I got a name but no picture for you, so sorry about that. So you make it in here, and you see this one is familiar in appearance. She doesn't have the long ears like a true, like a full-blown drow. She has she has shorter ears, similar to a half elf, like Lorna, and the professor you originally met. And I'm spacing on her name, Professor Zara. And she sees you come into the room. She has this red hair with the sides of her head kind of shaved off. And she's wearing very simple clothes for drow. I mean, meaning that she does have some kind of lace around the neck and some of the black kind of coming away from the neck to her dress. But it is not as overly ornate as some of the other more noble drow that you've ran into so far. She sees you come in, and she goes, "How can I help you all? What brings you here?" As she sees the both of you enter. Her words are kind of mixed, though, as her body language kind of is taken aback by a dragonborn and a half-dragon drow walking into her study.
Yes, Professor, my friend here would like to discuss something with you.
Oh, I'm no professor. I'm just, sadly, pretty much a glorified student, teacher's pet. The previous teacher of alchemy and plants and stuff has kind of left the city.
Have they gone to join the Forgotten?
Yeah, but, what else can you expect from a house friend?
That is true, but you're still here. I'm surprised they haven't made you professor. You surely seem quite talented in this field.
Make a persuasion check, as you are clearly trying to flatter her. Okay, yeah, you got away with it. a natural 20 versus a natural 1. So, well, I appreciate the flattery. And if I'm not mistaken, you are Lady Faye from House Bonray, right?
Yes, I am.
I have heard some of the professors speak of you. I don't know if it's your title that earns you so much attention or if it's your achievements in the classroom, but I'm happy to assist anyone that is close with Professor Zara. What can you and your friend, what are you both looking for? She looks at you, Faye, and looks at you, Chronis. Is there something specifically I can help you with?
I'm gonna gesture with my hands the size of a container. Roughly it holds about a gallon of acid that is sturdy and can be safely stowed away.
She kind of thinks about it. She goes, "That's really not a common item," but I'm sure she kind of looks over, and she does show maybe something like this. And you've seen those jars that have like the latches on them that have like kind of a they close down on the jar, and then there's like a metal latch that kind of vices it tightly to one another. You can see some kind of like waxing that is around the lid that helps kind of form that seal when it is latched closed. Because this is very thick glass. And I mean, this is probably not a gallon size that you're looking for, but we might be able to find something or, outsource this to one of the glass makers in town. Would something like this work?
After looking at it, I'd say probably, because I'll think of a way to store it safely.
She probably, if you probably could wrap it in some leather, some hide or leather to kind of help protect the glass a little bit more. But she opens the jar to kind of show you. It's about ½ inch thick. So something like this would take some time. I'm sure she goes, it would be a charge. I haven't sold anything like that before. Let me look at. I'd have to kind of look something up that would be a fair price. How much were you thinking about spending?
Well, that, and then, do you happen to have a strong acid around?
We do. I have some acids and some potions and poisons that we brew for classes and teaching students and stuff. I could probably come up with some, not a gallon's worth. I do know perhaps an area of town where something like that could be found, and the school or the academy or myself on record will ever admit to suggesting this. And she kind of looks over at Faye, and Faye, you're going to know right away. Kind of, she's talking about the seedier district, the lower income districts that have kind of all sorts of trade is kind of welcome there, but it's kind of buyer beware.
I just thought, it was like, tell us what we don't know anything about what you may or may not tell us.
So she will, let me pull it up here. If you go down to where is the bazaar at? That's in the lower district, right?
Yes.
Oh no, that's in the middle district. It says. This would be lower district. So this would be. Let's see here. This is going to be found in Briarin. It's also referred to as the Stench Streets or War in the Streets. This is kind of the lower income district. Faye would know about outlaw and criminal drow, really kind of making a name for themselves, kind of operating outside the law and above the law, but they pretty much only respond to major efforts made by the guard to kind of get the area back in check. But with things that have gone well, you wouldn't know that yet. So, but yeah, that's kind of where she's referring to as the Stench Streets.
I just nod.
See, if you come back tomorrow, I can probably commission one of these in time for your glass, for that glass container.
That would be fantastic.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to. This is just such a weird kind of item. How much does a regular vial hold of acid? Does it say? It's 1 pound. Well, shit, that doesn't help me. How much is? We'll figure that out. But let's say
Okay, how much pound is in? How much is a pound in ounces, and then how many ounces are in a gallon?
8.35 pounds equals 1 U.S. gallon.
How many pounds?
8.35.
So 8.35. All right, where's the just a simple vial of them? Okay, so
You
vial
could
is
probably
ounces is
round
a
that
pound?
down. Yeah, you could round that down to 8. Yeah, but ounces and pounds don't ounces of liquid to
yeah,
pounds of
that
matter
could be
don't really convert that well.
yeah, it could be different.
That's why we
but
need to go by the metric system.
Honestly, that is the one time I agree with that.
I'm gonna say because of the extra thick glass that a normal vial will need, plus the sheer size of it, and if you want her to wrap it in that hide and leather, we're probably looking about 25 gold pieces for that container.
I'm going to pull out 30 and then give it to her and just have her deliver it to Faye's house. When
So I'll send it to you. Who should I? What's your name? I'm sorry. Who should I address it to?
you can address it to Faye or Chronis.
I will do so. Does it need to be any size or opening, or just like? I mean, look at the reference one. I guess it's a smaller one, but you may want to mention that how large you want the opening to fit that egg.
So I'm reaching into my bag and kind of like
Oh, shit.
wrap my hands around it and then pull it out and just show how big around the opening needs to be.
Okay, so you're not pulling the egg out. You're just okay.
No, just kind of like making a circle with my hands.
Okay, I can make that work. Yes, I should have it to you either late this evening. Well, no, it's already too late in the day, but tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, I should have it to you.
That will work.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I need to write that down because I will forget. All right. Anything else you want to do with the academy before I switch back over to Skywar and the others?
I mean, I'm done.
Yeah, I think try and find everyone.
Okay.
See what they did.
So let's switch back to Skywar. I'm sorry, where did you say you were heading after you left the shop? Did you tell me where you were heading, or just wandering the streets some more?
Looking for a florist.
Okay. Let's go back to. Let's just check in with Wolfram real quick because it's been a while. Wolfram, are you doing anything different? It's about a couple hours into continuous working. Nazana's coming over to check on you, and she goes, "Go ahead and do another blacksmith check for me if you don't mind, just to see how you're making it through her work order." Okay. You're able to kind of make up the time and quality that from earlier, and you're about back up to speed of what you were on the orders. She comes over. She goes, I must ask. She goes, you do impeccable work. You know why travel all this way down here? I'm sure you can find work on the surface. What brings you down to the Underdark?
Or simply the closest option available.
She's kind of offended at the comment, but she kind of lets it go. She goes, "Well, are you sure there's nothing I can do to pay you or for all your work? Without your help, we wouldn't be making as quick or as far into all these orders as we have."
Simply privacy during the night.
I'm sorry, my headset fell out when you said that. What was that?
Simply privacy during the night when I work on a personal project.
She agrees, and she goes, "Well, I will give you that, but if you keep up this good work, I must give you something." And she'll if you will take money, I'll have to think of something else that you might take. And she walks away and gets back to work on some of the other orders that she can perform. Is there anything else you want to say or do right now, Wolfram?
No.
Okay. Let's go back to who's the like touch base with you, Skymore last, or Faye and I'm sorry, Lorna and Anika last.
It was Faye and Chronis before this.
I mean, before that, it was you guys, Skymore, then Lorna and Anika, I think.
I think so.
All right, I'm trying my best, guys. Thanks
No
for your
problem.
patience. Lorna and Nico, let's go back to you. Gives me some time to generate some plant names for Mr. Druid over here.
Yes.
You might be running into a noxious poppy. I'm just putting that out there, Skyward, because I really like that name.
Oh yeah.
So back to you guys. You guys are walking back to House Bonray with 3 slaves, 2 hobgoblins, and a troll.
Yes.
Yep.
I'd like to point out that I have pulled up my hood over my bright orange hair. And
Seeing her do that, I will probably hat of disguise.
low profile. As much as I can.
And you're keeping them chained as you're leaving into the town, right?
Yeah, because if we don't, we'll get even more looks.
Yes.
Anika's not happy about it, but she leaves it.
Same.
Okay. After some time, you guys finally make it back to House Bonray. The help is eyeballing you guys very oddly. The hobgoblins aren't catching them so off guard, but they're kind of looking at the troll like, what the fuck is he supposed to do around here? And you guys make it in. Some of the help that is more of a guard position or, for the house is like, excuse me, lady, what are you guys doing?
It's personal business. I'll just continue walking.
You've been here for a day. What kind of personal business?
Oh, you know, making names, changing faces, trying to beat the forgotten. That
Yep.
stuff.
He will kind of like, they're your problem, and I'm not cleaning up after the big one if it decides to not use the bathrooms.
That's
Hey, this is a sentient creature.
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows how to use a bathroom. I hope.
All right. They're your problem. If we have any issues, it's all falling down on you guys. And he
What
lets
else
you guys
is new?
We understand. I think we'll just take them back to our rooms. I'll hide them in my room.
Perhaps we should tell someone of importance that we have these.
I think we should break it to Faye first, because, we may have used her name.
It's not like he gave me a choice.
No, not really.
Honestly, I forgot her sister's names.
She only has what is the total count? Like 15, I think, children or siblings?
15 siblings, 8 sisters, and however many
Oh,
brothers.
God.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the slightly cold one's name. And I didn't want to put the other one under a bus.
And on that note, Faye, I will create extra character sheets for you. If you do want to go through the process of adding pictures and more details, you are more than welcome to. From a DM preparations side of things, I just cannot prepare that many characters for you ahead of time, especially if you guys are not going to talk to them all.
That's fair. That is perfectly fair.
Once Skyward goes back to the place, he's going to talk to each of the siblings.
Careful, I may use them later.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Right.
I
So
bring
you
them into
guys
my
go
room.
back to the common area with them then? Like your wing where your rooms are then with the slaves that you recently purchased?
Yes. And I bring them into whatever my bedchamber they're assigned me to. bring them in there.
Okay, they're in your room.
Yep,
We should probably unchain them.
I do exactly that. I will just rip them off.
I figured.
The hobgoblins kind of look at each other, trying to figure out what exactly is going on. The troll, on the other hand, is very agitated and looks aggressive. What would you guys like to do?
I look at him, the troll. I slowly take off my scabbard with my sword in it and put it down on the bed behind me. Like, hands up, all good. I've taken off their chains. It's alright. We're really just trying to set you free.
The troll still looks very angry. And at that time, he raises his fist.
Uh-huh.
But he then strikes the table next to you in your room and just kind of smashes it against the table, kind of huffing and puffing and angry. He just knows he's kind of trapped, and if he wasn't so confined, he definitely and outnumbered. You get the impression from this body language is that he would probably be attacking you instead of just venting.
I hug him.
You what?
I hug him.
Hug the troll.
Yeah.
He's going to growl and say
just
something in giant and shove you away. This is going to be a shove, a really strong. Actually, let's do an athletic. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check if you want to try to fight off the shove, almost like a grapple. Like, see how far he's gonna get pushing you.
Oh, I'm on dexterity based.
He's not proficient in athletics, so it's just a straight D20 plus 4.
Yeah.
All right. So he's going to shove you, and with that roll against your response roll, let's see what he's going to do. You're going to take. Let's just do this. What's the roll for improvised damage? Because it's not really a hit with a weapon. The wall's doing most of the damage that you slam into. I think it's. I'm just going to do it. I'll just do a D10 unless you tell me there's another actual rolling.
I have no idea.
I won't add any proficiency bonuses though. So you just take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the wall as he shoves you against it. And it kind of hits the back of your head as you kind of hit the wall. The hobgoblins are kind of taken aback and they kind of jump away from the troll because the troll's all kind of pissed off and irritated right now.
Yep.
What would you like to do? And
Oh, I'm playing music trying to calm this troll down because everything else I would do would probably scare him.
Okay. He's going to make an attempt to swipe at the instrument in your hand as you play the music.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
He's going to actually swipe with his claws. Are you casting a spell?
I'm just gonna I'm gonna cast dancing lights in his face, just
No.
to try and get him to stop.
This is going terribly wrong.
Oh
no!
What the? Hit?
Does a what?
16 hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so he swipes at you with his claws. You play the music to try to calm him down, and the lights distract him a little bit, but he does make it through. He knocks the instrument out of your arm, but you feel the claw marks kind of graze your arms as you were holding the instrument, and you take 13 points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
Okay. I just
It's looking frenzied, and now it's the hobgoblins are kind of like just wide-eyed, standing back. The
I just put
one
my hands up.
hobgoblin that you talked to, Lorna, before, he does eventually kind of snap to. He goes, and he starts shouting at you like, "You need to get out of here and let him just lock him in here and let him calm down."
Okay.
I have an idea. And I tell everyone to close their eyes. And as far back as I can, I cast Hypnotic Pattern on the troll.
Okay, go for it.
I think he needs to make a 15 wisdom, I want to say.
This is not making me. Why can't I click on the sheet? Probably because I'm looking at it in the compendium and not as a token. That's probably why. D20 minus. All right, he fails it, and he stays. He kind of
And he
stuns.
calms the fuck down for a minute. He's like,
He
I'm
kind
gonna
of
pick up.
rolls out the side of his mouth a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up my lyre and turn and say, we can either lock him in here or help someone talk to him. But I suggest we do something soon.
I think we should just let him do his thing.
Okay. And I hop out of the room.
What did you say you guys were trying to do? I'm sorry.
Gonna lock him in the room.
Okay, you're taking leaving the hobgoblins in there with him, or you're taking them
I'll
with
bring
you?
them out to the
Okay.
I'm
common
gonna tell
area.
them to. They can understand me, so I'm assuming they're coming with.
The one understands you, but he's clearly going to grab his counterpart and bring him along as you. The one that spoke with you guys before, like, what are you trying? It's a troll. They're not friendly. Why they don't hug?
I've never met a troll.
Well, for future reference, they don't hug.
Good to know.
Clearly.
They're very simple-minded creatures. I like Skyboard. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, go ahead.
I think we
Should
just
lock
need to
your
wait
doors.
for the others and lock the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how long does that spell? It lasts for a minute, right?
Yep.
So after a minute of talking and planning, you finally hear some commotion in the room. You hear things kind of getting tossed a little bit. You see...
You picked up your sword
hear,
before you left. You're a warrior.
No, she didn't. I'm gonna have to start throwing the rule book a little bit more. You guys don't explicitly say you pick things up. But you hear it kind of pound on the door for a minute or two. You hear some more words in giant spoken, and eventually you just hear this thud, like a boom, and that's all you hear from there. Is there anything else you guys want to do before I switch over to the rest of the group?
I hope they get back here soon.
Oh God, yep.
This is going to be probably later afternoon, evening. We're probably looking at 5-ish, 6-ish now. Skyboard, you're wandering around to find some more florists in town.
Yep.
You find another shop. It's not like a traditional florist, it's not like a place where you go buy roses for your loved one or anything, but they're selling some produce and they're selling some decorative flora. As close to the probably thing that you'll find outside of an alchemist shop as a traditional florist, I guess. It's not in a shop though. It's kind of like a street cart where they're a street side business where people kind of walk up to the establishment and he kind of serves anyone that's coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
He's gonna approach the cart and look at all the plants.
Okay.
What did it look like?
So you're gonna see again a lot of the common flora that you've seen before. but you're kind of looking for brighter colored plants, so I'm going to stick specifically to those. So you're going to see this one plant that looks like a bunch of red needles are kind of shooting off of it. It's really a bright red, with a little bit of purple speckling, I guess, on the inner parts of the leaves. As it goes, as the stem of the flower petals are more purple, but the bulk of the petals, as it kind of grows away from the center, is bright red. You also see some other ones that are kind of more like what do they call those flowers in real life? They're kind of like tulips, but they are hanging downward, so that instead of seeing a standard stem sitting straight up, they're kind of leaned over. You see some white ones with some reddish tips on them, and the other ones are similar flowers that you've seen already.
I'm assuming there's a person working at the cart, right?
Yep. You see this man in pretty common clothes. He's a little underdressed for even the middle class district, but he's kind of doing his familiar calls to passerbys to kind of drum up business as he summons around. He goes, "Sir, maybe I can help you with something you're looking for. Perhaps you're looking to brew a potion, or perhaps you want to buy one that I already have made for you. What can I do for you?"
You grow these flowers.
More or less.
How do they grow?
And he's going to give you the same kind of spiel that you've heard from some of the other people that you met, some other florists and stuff. Some of the flowers grow from the arcane light from the tower. Some of them are going to grow from surrounding bioluminescent plants, more of the same kind of stuff.
He points at the prickly plant that you described earlier. What's that called?
That is called a demon thousand leaf.
That sounds random.
And generated. But I like it. Is this something you're interested in? Perhaps you're looking for something for a romantic interest. And he goes around and looks and he pulls out a black stemmed rose, and he hands the store. He's like, "I've sold a couple of these recently. Perhaps you'd be interested in one of these."
Where I'm from, black roses mean death.
Oh, a rose is a rose, no matter what the color is, right?
He shakes his head and he just starts walking. He would go about a block down the road. Then he just flops down onto the ground in a crisscross applesauce and just sits there. Looks defeated.
Okay. At that time, Chronis and Faye, you guys were making your way back to House Bonray, right?
Yes.
I will say, with him just sitting smack dab in the middle of the road, crisscross and defeated, you guys would come across a very defeated and sad Skyboar, kind of moping around in the middle of the street.
Skybor, are you all right?
I'll live.
Skybor, what's wrong?
He looks up. I don't see clouds. I don't see stars. And I don't see the sun. It's been a week, and we're still deep underground.
I can hope you see stars.
Not helping.
Actually, I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out that root that Faye's sister had given me. And I'm going to give it to Skyboar.
Okay.
Do I recognize that root?
You would recognize it as a common. It's not a hardcore drug. It's basically similar effects of like marijuana and stuff. Kind of like it's kind of a relaxing and slightly euphoric effect when people take it.
Where did you find that?
Your sister gave it to me.
I'm not even going to ask when she started using it.
God damn, Chronis is a narc. I didn't realize you sung like a little bird in like 5 seconds.
I mean, he really doesn't know what it is. She just gave it to him and said this will help calm me down.
What is it?
I don't know. She said something about taking it and it'll help calm me down.
I am calm. I'm just depressed. We came here to do a job, and yet we have not really accomplished anything. All we've done was gotten fights, getting side quests. It just seems like there's no end.
There will be an end. We just need to be patient and do what we can to get them to agree. If it turns out to be a waste of time, we'll leave.
Till the next thing comes. And he gets up and starts walking back to the manor.
I imagine you all follow him and head back to the estate. Hello?
And Chronis, you said my sister had it. Which one?
Don't remember the name.
It was Julina.
I would have never guessed that.
I don't remember the name.
You can describe her. I'm not going to do anything horrible. I'm just going to have a little chat with her.
It's not a criminal like substance. It is a very commonly used plant, I guess.
No, there's a reason Faye wants to go talk.
Okay.
Oh, wait until you get home, though.
All right.
Yeah.
So, are you guys following after Skyboar then?
Yeah.
Okay. You all make it back. Wolfram's still diligently working in the shop at the blacksmith, unless you tell me otherwise, Wolfram.
I think after tonight, he's going to head back to the Bunray estate.
Okay, so he's going to work through this night and then head back?
He's going to finish up the orders today, do his project, then go back to the Bunray estate in the morning.
Okay. Did you guys pay for the objects that you asked Wolfram to make earlier already? If not,
Yes.
I did.
Retcon that in the sense that Wolfram could bring it back to you all after it's done.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Chronis, you updated your gold as well for that jar that you commissioned, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's probably not going to be done until tomorrow. But Wolfram, make one more roll for me, Wolfram, with the blacksmithing tools. But with your last one, I think you're pretty much on track.
Which on what?
I'm sorry?
pretty much on, and then you cut up.
Oh,
Oh, he
sorry.
said back.
On track with the work orders and keeping up with the demand she has to do for the armies and the military. Yeah, you have no problem staying on track, and you're going to have plenty of time to complete her list and make the objects for your friends. And so she lists you correctly: studded leather armor, 7 javelins, and I thought there was one more.
No, those are it.
Okay, so she lets you take those with you, and she thanks you again for your work. She goes, "You're welcome to the shop anytime to continue your work. In the meantime, if you need in here when I'm not here, you'll have to come seat me at my residence, and I'll have to let you back in. But otherwise, thank you for all your help."
Tonight will be the last night I'm here working. I'll be here when you open in the morning.
Okay. She thanks you again, and she says, "I look forward to seeing you again. What is your name? You've been here for 2 days now and have not told me your name."
I've not asked. It is Wolfram.
Wolfram, I've appreciated the shit. I can't think of the word. I appreciate the work and these. The kind of, she makes a joke. I don't know if it's going to go over Wolfram's head, but the social interaction while I got my job done as well.
We're welcome.
Till tomorrow. And she kind of heads back to close up some of the things she needs to wrap up for the evening. And is there anything else you want to do on your way back to the
He's got to do his project.
What?
So I remember that this was the last night he was working. He's working again through the night, but he's going to finish his project.
So he is staying at the blacksmith shop, but he's going to work on his own project throughout the night.
Yeah, like he was working to get all her orders done so that he could have peace and quiet and do his project.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I thought you were going home
like he's going to
tonight.
be back. No, he's going to be back at the manor in the morning.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right. So let's change it a little bit, and she's gonna, finish up wrapping up the shop for the evening. And she goes, "Are you sure there's nothing else I can do for you before you head out, or before I head out?" And you let her know that you just want the peace and quiet. And she again leaves you to your own devices in the middle of the night to work on your own personal projects. What do you want? Do you want to keep that private right now, or do you want to kind of elaborate what those personal projects are?
We'll say that it is a plaque that he is going to design we'll put in etchings of, I guess you could say, like it's a mural made out of metal that has giant runes written on it to explain what's going on in this tale, I suppose, but its contents are going to be kept private.
Okay. Let's go ahead, similar to the previous night, let's go ahead and do 3 blacksmith rolls.
And for the material he's going to be using his shield for all the materials necessary.
Okay, so you're going to create this mural on your own shield then. But is it going to self-function?
Melting down his shield. No, he's melting down his shield to use it as the material.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do 3 blacksmith rolls, and we'll see how far he makes it on this project and to what.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay. Just fast forward throughout the night. You made exceptional work. The speed and stuff, so you did complete your task through the night. And it is of very excellent quality. It's not the most perfect thing, but it is pretty close to perfect for what you could craft in one night of effort. So I'm going back to the other group who has to return to the estate. And so everyone now is in this room. So Faye, Chronis, Skybor, you guys come in. You see two hobgoblins sitting in the common area of your living space.
Lorna's pacing back and forth at her door, just listening in.
Why are there two hobgoblins here?
Oh, you own them now.
Merry Christmas!
Technically.
What
You also
did
own a
you
troll.
do? I own a what? What
Yeah.
did
And
you
I
do?
point, I point to Lorna's door. A troll.
Yeah,
What
a troll.
did you do?
Well, what I didn't do was start a fight with a Vondre. Was that his last name?
Vorn Vondre.
Yep. What I didn't do was start a fight with Vorn Vondre, even though the ass would have deserved it. What I did do, however, which for some reason I think is going to politically backfire somehow, I don't really know how, the dude accepted the business proposal. I bought 3 of his slaves he was going to use for a gladiator match to the death.
Faye, you are very familiar with Vorn Vondre as being one of the few noble men that doesn't obviously have a seat on the council, but he's one of the few reputable drow men of stature in Mento, as a related to I'm forgetting the matron's name for Vondre now. Was that Jure Vondre? He's closely related to her and is an older cousin of Tanir Vondre.
Faye is keeping her composure right now. She's smiling, kind of gritting her teeth. Go on.
About what? That's what we did.
Yes. We brought them into my room. We had a little heart-to-heart. Turns out trolls do not like being hugged.
Or music.
Or music.
Why did you hug
I was trying to calm him down. He looked really anxious. Usually when I'm feeling down, my mom gives me a hug. It usually works. So we kind of left him in there to his own devices. I'm getting a little worried because I left my sword in there. Yeah.
I'm assuming he fell asleep.
I hope.
You left a sword in the room with the troll.
Yeah, I don't really know why she did that. We had a minute to get out.
I don't do spells, remember?
I told you we had a minute.
Can you give me a moment?
Sure.
I'm going to walk down the hallway and go to my room, grabbing a pillow, and I'm going to scream in it at the top of my lungs.
Skybor is going to take out the root that Chronis gave, looks at the root, looks at the door, back at the root, back at the door. Chronis.
Yes.
How does this stuff work?
I am not sure. I believe you should ask Faye on that, because she seems rather knowledgeable about it.
I'm assuming you guys are hearing Faye scream.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I believe she is.
I think maybe Faye needs it to help calm down as well.
He breaks it in half.
Shit. Okay.
Knocks on the door. Faye.
Are you knocking on the door of the troll then?
No, to Faye's room.
Oh, I thought Faye walked down the hall. I didn't know she went to her room. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I walked down to my room to scream.
Okay, so you hear this knock on your door from Skywar, Faye.
I will stop screaming and open the door.
As you open the door, you see the root hanging in front of your face.
Thank you.
How does this stuff work?
Well, seeing as one of my sisters is doing that, has brought this, I will show you, and then I will figure out which one it was later. Right now, I need to calm down before I go out and strangle 2 people.
Well, from my guess, these roots will help the calming down.
All right.
Faye, you are well aware that a dab will do you on this stuff. half of it is not as prescribed on the bottle.
Yes, I'll do a dab, and then I will start planning on how I am going to go apologize to House Vandre.
No,
Go
we
ahead
just
and
have to
make a
outmaneuver them.
Constitution saving throw, Faye.
Faye is very upset right now.
Faye is upset, but very chill about this right now.
Okay,
Feel-
now how did she take? Is it like she ate it, or is it?
You'd have to just eat a little bit of the root,
Oh, no.
essentially.
Okay. All right.
That's better.
So
That's all it
for
takes.
the next hour, you are essentially high. You still conduct yourself, but you will not be as upset or uptight about things that transpire.
All right, I will go over to them after calming down. All right. Well, before anything gets done, let's figure out what we are going to do about this troll.
Well,
Easy. Who speaks troll? Or do you have someone here who can speak other languages? Can you?
Enter a tired
I
Wolfram,
yes.
walking up the stairs carrying something wrapped up in, carrying a plaque wrapped up in cloth, just tired.
Wolfram, could you come over here a sec? Do you know Giant?
Yes.
Can you talk to the troll in Lorna's room? Tell it to calm the fuck down.
He will look around his Chronis there.
Yes.
We'll hand you the plaque and we'll tell you, I trust you with this, and to please not open its contents. It is an offering to the stone giants, and it is something very intimate and personal. And I trust you to not unwrap it.
I'll give him like a little slight head nod.
Okay. And just for timing wise, because that was a project you had to work pretty a while on, I'm just going to say it's late in the evening, so you're fine, but it's just probably late night now when you guys
That's
are all
fine.
doing this right now.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go to the door and hold the knob and then turn to the rest of them. I would ask that you not enter, lest you wish to see a side of me that I do not like to see or bring out. Trolls have no understanding of morality, and therefore I will use none when explaining to it the situation.
Skyward will hold out his hand to Wolfram. You may need this.
Oh, God.
He say?
He handed you the other half of the root.
He handed you the drug.
Wolfram will place it in his bag and enter the room with
Also,
the troll.
Just tell it it's not a slave anymore. With the calming down.
Yep.
Enter the room.
When you walk into the room, are you closing the door behind you, you said?
Yeah. And
you
he's
see-
taken out a small piece of phosphorus and his whetstone.
Okay. You're going to see the room all kind of smashed and torn up. The table is broken in half. The chairs are barely standing. A lot of them don't have all four legs anymore. Just the room is a complete wreck. And you see this troll kind of slumped against the wall, just kind of fuming almost. He sees you and he kind of growls and stands there. He's like, "Let me out. What do you guys want from me?"
Will take the small piece of phosphorus and scratch it with the whetstone and create a wall of fire around the troll.
Okay.
Because trolls do not like fire. It is their bane. And he will look at it and a giant say to him this very bad monologue of, "You will look at me when I speak to you, wayward. You are not to harm those who have purchased you. You are their property now. You will do as they say, and should I find that you have injured them again, no amount of regeneration or amount of brute violence will save you. Look at me when I speak to you, wayward. This is the situation, and you will do it."
That's amazing. I'm not going to make you roll for that because that was awesome. He is going to first, when you're speaking, aggressively look at you and snarl and bare his teeth, and his chest and his arms are kind of heaving and stuff. He's so angry, but as you speak and the flames surround him, you can see him kind of scared, and eventually his kind of aggressive posture relaxes, and it's more timid and frightful of what's going on. And he goes, "I will not harm anyone as long as I am not locked up again, and I have some promise of safety."
It is to be discussed with your masters. Now sit down, and they will now sit down while I bring your masters in. And he will dispel the fire and open the door again.
Okay. He does sit down, and he's not happy about it, but he is nervous around you.
He'll open the door and gesture for them to come in. The wayward understands his situation.
Cool.
So you guys look in now, and you see this room is just destroyed. But you see this troll that seems to be fuming in the corner like it's just a punished child almost.
I go get
What?
my sword. Do I find my sword? Oh, fuck.
You find it. It takes a little time because of all the furniture tossed around, but you do find it. Roughly in the area that you left it, but it does have some furniture pieces laying on top of it.
That's okay. It's still there, so, she's good.
Who's the purchaser of this one? The wayward?
Me, technically. Although he was bought for Faye and House Bonre. So
We just look
says
up Faye.
Bondre.
I'm going to have to look at the recording because I really can't remember exactly the details. I think we agreed to 5 platinum for half of them, and he would be willing to, but Haas Bonre had to bring slaves back in trade. Was that
No.
No. So it was.
We got half, and if we wanted the other half, we had to bring a team of 6 to gladiator deathmatch.
Yes.
Okay. And he proposed that you guys were allowed to participate in the gladiator for the remaining half if you brought a 6. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to save 3 slaves, we have to kill 6.
In order to save
you don't know
6.
how many you
No.
have to kill. You need to bring a team of 6 to
That is
participate.
true.
We have to, in order to save 3 more.
You have no idea
Although
how
I'm
many teams of 6 to participate, though.
All
They
Chronis
would know.
heard was gladiator, and he perked up and started getting happy.
Killing slaves,
Right.
Chronis. Killing slaves. Assuming we all don't die.
Sorry, go ahead, Wolfram.
I'm getting voices mixed up. Was he Lorna's or Annika's? Or Nika's?
Mine. Anika's.
Okay,
Sort of.
so Wolfram is going to look to Anika and explain to her, "You must understand that these are creatures who only desire to eat and kill and dominate. You must show no mercy, and you must show domination and strength when speaking with it. Fire is a weakness for him. He only requires more space. He cannot be cramped up in a room like this.
I'll turn to Faye when he says that. I don't actually own the house.
Does.
You do.
I mean, the gardens are nice and open.
And if he patrols them, he can... I'm assuming he could act as a guard.
That's nice.
Just expect the roses to be overpowered by another smell. They are not sanitary creatures.
We should change that. But, yeah.
If you will
Faye?
excuse me, I need to go sleep. And he will take the plaque back from Chronis and go to bed.
Well, at least tell him to go to the garden first.
To go what?
The troll's just kind of sitting there looking at you and Nika, fuming but obedient, kind of looking for you to.
All right. Chronis, you said you were in the gardens last night, right?
Yes.
Where is it?
Right outside the door, and I believe it was to the left.
Okay. I will basically put on her best, like, mom impression and do the finger wag and tell the troll to follow me.
The troll does follow you.
I'm gonna go out with him just in case anything happens.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We're going to the garden.
So you make it to the garden. This late in the evening, there's not a lot of people out and about. So it's pretty quiet, similar to the night you were meditating, Chronos. You do not see Jelena this night, though, out in the garden.
It's probably for the best. Okay. I'm going to play my best form of charades. So I'm going to point at the drows and basically do a no harm gesture, and us as well. But is this a walled garden? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. I will mime if anyone comes over the wall. Point to him and then make a smashing motion or a capturing.
Okay. All right.
I'm making him a guard.
All right. He will get the gist of he's basically supposed to sit here and stop anyone that comes over the wall.
Yep.
He's going to take a seat on the bench that Chronis fell asleep on the night before and just kind of face the wall and just kind of look at it.
I will turn around, walk away, and if I see one of Faye's siblings, tell them the troll is now a guard of the garden, and walk away.
Okay. All right. So you're back inside, all of you, again, except for Wolfram, who's asleep. What else would you guys like to do, or just?
Sky will
It's been a day. Let's go to sleep.
Okay. There is some political stuff we should probably talk about, but we could do that after you're not high.
Okay, Skyboard, you said you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say I was going to go to sleep.
Okay. So everyone's going to sleep. Lorna currently does not have a room.
Nope. I'll
You
make
want to sleep in mine?
we're probably safer. Faye might get makeup in the middle of the night and she won't be high anymore. That'll be great.
And remember, she wants to kill us.
Yeah. Great.
Although I don't know why. It could have been worse.
It could have. It very well could have.
It probably almost was.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, Faye, to calm down even more, is going to sneak off to go to the tempting rose.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
I'll
Okay.
just make sure that the 2 hobgoblins are like okay in like the common room, and I give them blankets and pillows and decent places to sleep. Because they are humanoids.
Yep.
Okay.
I will help with that.
All right. So, Faye, you're making your way to the tempting room. Are you spending the night there?
I will probably spend the night there, yes. And I will gladly roll a stealth to make sure no one notices me leaving.
Yeah. If you don't want to be seen leaving, roll a stealth. And if what would you like to do at the tempting? I guess I should say when you walk in, it's very much so. What's the description? There's basically silks flowing, and it's very laid back. Where the couches are more like beds that are low to the ground, and you see very more finer spirits being shared amongst all the patrons in there. And not to offend anyone, but it is what it is. There are some various very public acts of affection going on in the room between male and female, female and female, male and male. All walks of life are kind of enjoying the pleasures of flesh and alcohol.
I will get my usual drinks and see if anyone approaches and try and have a good time.
You do catch the eye of a female that's obviously a worker at the establishment, and she will come up to you and inquire if you are looking for some company or if you'd like to get her or one of her friends to join you. As she kind of looks at one of the other male workers here at this place.
I'll look at her and then I'll smile and be like, I think I'd like to enjoy your company.
Okay. And she sits down with you, and you pay for her time and her spirits as she's with you. I'll come up with the price tags for you after this. I really don't know what the cost of a prostitute is. I'd have to look that up.
I will send you the book from 3.5.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Because that's probably the closest you're gonna get. That's probably the best one you're gonna get for prices.
I will say it is going to be pricey, just because it's an upper scale clientele. It's not your just general bar wench. These are it's kind of like a super fine whorehouse, essentially.
Of course.
Okay. So you enjoy the rest of the night. Make a perception check, Faye.
All right. And I'm going to be right back. I got to take my dog out, but I'll roll this perception check real quick.
With disadvantage.
21. And I'll be right back. I'll take my dog out.
Okay. We're way past the stopping time. I'll send you the stuff offline. But does anybody else want anything else to do before their characters go to bed? And who's all sleeping with who tonight?
I'm sleeping in Anika's room.
Which I have never slept in before, so this should be interesting. Yeah.
Okay. And Chronis, you're going to sleep in your assigned room, and Skyward, you're going to do the same, I imagine? Or are you guys going to bump?
I'm going to stay in my room, staring up at the ceiling.
All right. You guys drift off to sleep and wrap up another day in Menzo. And that's where we're going to call it for the night. This is awesome. I had a really good time. I really like to see. I feel like we got to see a lot more Wolfram's character personality, which was awesome. So I think Wolfram, you did excellent. I just had a great time with everyone tonight. So except for Skyward. Skyward's a dick.